Hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of In the Gallery with Laura Ali. I'm your host, Laura Ali, and today we're going to get into the cross-examination of, well, first we're going to do the direct testimony, and then we're going to get into the cross-examination of Hannah Payne. This trial occurred back a year ago. I think she was found guilty around a year ago, almost to today. This trial happened in Atlanta, Georgia. The surrounding incident around it was this young lady, Hannah Payne, saw a man driving erratically, a man by the name of Kenneth Herring. He was, I think I pulled up a photo of him actually here. You can't see it. Let me see if I could show one of Kenneth. Okay, so this is Kenneth Herring here. He was having a medical episode and he was driving erratically because I think he was trying to get to a hospital or something like that. She saw him driving erratically and called 911. 911 told her not to pursue. She took it upon herself to continue to pursue and chase him down and then shot him. So I have my opinions on this case. I don't think it's as cut and dry as some people have said. Some people have just blatantly said that it's due to racism. I don't think that's the case at all. I truly and genuinely think, I mean, we'll get into it, but I truly and genuinely think that it was more of a case of feeling a sense of responsibility and I'm going to solve this and I'm going to stop this. And it's not your issue to stop or solve. So let me know what you guys think as we go through it, but let's get into the direct testimony. She's about to take the stand.
I can. Ms. Payne, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you shall give in this case today shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Yes, you may lower your right hand, have a seat. If you just put yourself up to the mic and project so that we can all hear you, that the reporter can record what is being said. You may proceed, Attorney Tucker.
If you could say your full name for the record and spell it out for the court tonight.
It's Hannah, Hannah, Payne, Payne.
Okay, Ms. Payne, have you lived in Dade County or Clayton County in close proximity? I don't want to give out addresses, but have you lived the majority of your life?
I have. I was born and raised in Clayton County and then moved to Fayette when I was 8.
Do you have any family members that are law enforcement?
I
Do you
do.
recall, what do you do for a living?
I'm in property management for apartment communities, and I've been in that industry now for going on 10 years.
Okay.
I do think that is relevant to the story. And I think it's important to highlight it because property managers are typically all-encompassing. So if you're overseeing a property, you're overseeing everything from the landscaping to the employees to if there's a leak or if there's a bump in the road in your driveway, you have to address it. So I do think that's important to the case.
You came straight out of high school into that.
I did.
And that kind of industry, what do you do for your job?
Typically, I'm in the field. I go from property to property, either collecting rent, sometimes walking vacant and or abandoned apartments that could potentially be under construction, and I would show vacant apartments to potential renters.
Okay. So at times you were carrying basically tills for your company of large amount of money?
Correct, yes.
Okay. And testified that on some occasions or more occasions you have to show empty properties or empty locations to people that you don't know or that you're told to by your company?
Correct.
Okay.
Whether it be vacant apartments or vendors, either or.
And how do you feel about that?
I mean, it's a part of my job. In the beginning, we had smaller properties where I was the only person who was going from property to property. There were occasions that were unsettling, but it was still a part of my job, and the longer that I was with the company, the larger we got, the more properties we received. And
So early on, I just think they're just trying to tell a story of, because this is direct, they're trying to paint the picture that her carrying the gun, I'm just jumping ahead in my head. Her carrying the gun, she would be in a lot of these situations with strangers in close quarters. So she carried a gun for that reason, for her protection, which I will say I do agree with. There is a case, maybe I may cover it, I don't know. There was a woman that was murdered. I think she was a realtor. I'm sure she's not the only case, but this specific case, he called to see the house, and she had like a weird feeling about it too. And he murdered her in the vacant house. So
the more, I guess it put me more out, alone, by myself, without additional site staff, without anybody with me.
And they would know that you were going to these sites, correct?
Correct. Not exactly which ones. I would be kind of all over the place, depending on which ones I was going to.
And because you were going to all these different places to meet people you don't know, did you do anything for your safety?
I did.
And what was that?
I registered for a concealed carry permit, and when I received it, I purchased a firearm.
Did your company know about this?
They did, yes.
And were they in support of this?
Yes, they were.
And it was not unusual for other individuals with the same type of work to wear a gun or have a gun?
No, not at all.
Okay. And you said you purchased a
I
gun?
mean, also it's Georgia, right? Like I think everyone has a gun in Georgia. Like I think more people have guns than people that don't have
guns. What kind of gun did you purchase?
It was a Springfield, and it was a XD, because it was smaller, so I was able to keep it concealed.
Okay. And you got a valid permit, correct?
Correct.
What else did you do to help make sure that carrying a permit or carrying a gun on your side would be safe?
I would go to the shooting range, and at different shooting ranges they offer kind of like a variety of options, including self-defense kind of classes, or tutorials rather.
And did you ever take one of those classes or tutorials?
I did.
And which one did you take?
It was a while ago, so I wouldn't be able to tell you exactly, but it was a self-defense training course.
Okay. And in this training, what did you learn from what they were teaching?
Just how to properly store your weapon, how to properly remove your weapon, how to make sure that your safety when doing so doesn't cause accidental discharge, and they would explain how when you pull your weapon out that the way you hold it is determined based on what you're ready to do. In other words,
Okay, so Hannah, if you're saying that you took this self-defense class and they prepped you for all of these various maneuvers and tactics to protect yourself, and so that you are using the firearm in a safe manner, you're kind of, I want to see where they go with this, but you're kind of proving the point as to this being an intentional shooting. She should have never drew her weapon.
you keep your index finger on the slide until you're ready to pull the trigger. When you're ready to pull the trigger is when you put your finger into the trigger guard.
All right, now when you say the slide, is that the top portion, the side portion, or is it a combination of both?
Like the side,
Okay.
how your hand would just rest.
And is that all that they were training for at that time?
For the most part, yes. I mean, they taught us, how to load or unload and smaller things like that, but
Have you ever had a accidental discharge of the firearm while loading or unloading?
no.
Okay. And did you commonly wear this weapon?
Really quick, I just want to comment. I believe that's her mother, and I believe the other man that they just showed a while ago that's next to the mother is the father. So her family, I will say this, her side and family, I think her boyfriend was there, and they came heavy to the courtroom to support her. So I do respect that.
Every day.
Where'd you wear it?
On my person, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
I had a holster that went inside of my pants, and I wore it on my front right hip.
Was that visible to individuals?
No,
Okay. And did you do that purposely?
I did.
Okay. And do you recall May 7th of 2019?
I do.
Prior to that day, have you ever had to draw your weapon or find yourself in a position where you would need to?
No.
Okay. So on this May 7th, of course, you've been hearing these stories. Could you tell us what happened on that day?
I can. I was on my way home from work, and I was coming up to an intersection.
So yeah, it was May 7th, 2019. So this case is happening. So just to keep in mind, and I think it's important to note, she's recalling this in 2014. Excuse me, 2024. She's recalling this in 2024. And so it was 5 years prior to. So you have to think maturity. There's a lot of things that play into it. But it's just worth noting also for the testimony of the witnesses as well, right? Because it's like, I could remember some things that happened 5 years ago. Maybe if it was more traumatic, I would remember it more, but
Where the light had just turned green. As I was getting ready to turn left, there was a semi that was turning right. Someone ran the red light, and I watched him run right into the tractor trailer. I pulled off to the side, and I got on the phone with 911 just to give an account of what I had noticed. I had assumed that the truck driver or someone else that was involved had already called, and they hadn't.
If I can stop you right there. You said that you pulled off to the side. Whereabouts?
I pulled up onto the curb,
Okay.
right through the intersection.
And why did you do that?
I wanted to get out of the lane of travel.
Okay, so there was heavy traffic that day.
It was pretty steady.
Okay. And is that where you called the 911?
It is, yes.
Okay, and then what did you do?
After I got on the phone with 911, I was kind of explaining everything that I saw, and I started to walk over to the truck driver because I noticed that there was someone else who had witnessed it, who pulled off to the side.
And I'm sorry to interrupt. You said you walked up to the truck driver. What was that driver's name?
I believe it was Mr. Kimball.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
So I walked over to the truck driver, and we kind of just were conversing, asking, I don't even know what happened, and he just was confirming that we did have a green light. So I noticed that someone else had walked over to the other vehicle that was involved and was checking on them. After talking to Mr. Kimball for a while, he was on the phone with his dispatch the entire time, and so I was kind of relaying everything that happened so that they were able to hear it from me and not just from him.
Relaying it to whom?
To his job.
Okay.
So his supervisor, I would assume.
All right, so you're speaking with him, relaying to the dispatch about what was going on, confirming the light was green for him.
Correct.
And then what else happened?
After that, we were kind of just standing there waiting for the police to arrive. And
so just to back up, because I'm actually just kind of putting this together in my head as well. So there was a truck driver, a tractor trailer truck driver, which I can understand if he got into an accident, he has to report that immediately because his license is in danger. I mean, everyone should report, but you guys get what I'm saying? Like, he was in a position where he has to report that to his work. So Hannah jumped on the call to confirm the details of what occurred. She was co-signing for him. This is where the story I think takes a pivot, because, and you guys can look into, if you haven't already, look into what the witnesses said, but this is where the story takes a pivot, because after she does that, then she pursues. No one asked you to do that.
The other gentleman who had witnessed it walked over to us, and he introduced himself and said that he was a state officer, and he flashed his badge.
Sorry, this is where the story takes a pivot in terms of I believe he said he was a corrections officer. He never said he was a state officer, but she took it as him being an officer of the law. This is her telling of the story. Okay.
And said that he had checked on the other gentleman and that was asking us, are we okay? Is everybody all right? And actually told me that he had saw where he ran the red light and confirmed it to Mr. Kimball as well.
Okay. Now, Clara, he came and identified himself as a state officer?
Correct.
Okay. And you've heard a couple of times it being called correctional officer or another name. Are you sure he identified himself as a state officer to you and to Mr. Kimball?
Correct. He told me that he was a state officer. I didn't find out that it was a correctional officer until months later when I found out from you.
But he did show a badge?
He did. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, he didn't pull it off. He just lifted his shirt and we saw the badge and then he continued.
And how was he speaking to you, or how was his demeanor to you and Mr. Kimball?
He was trying to make sure everyone was okay, making sure that we kind of stayed over here and that anything that, you know, we could remember that happened, we were kind of going over it with him. But he seemed to be comfortable with the situation and making sure that all of us felt comfortable, I guess is the best way to explain it.
Okay. So your voice on the 911 appeared to be kind of calm.
She's putting the prosecution's going to get her, like, in terms of some of these points she's making. And I hate to say it like that because I genuinely do not think that she murdered this man out of like true anger and malice. I really don't. I think she did it out of like, I am the super problem solver. I'm going to stop this. Like, she took her I don't want to say power because she didn't have any power, but she took whatever perceived power she had in her head, which should have been nothing, and murdered this man. Anyway, she's trying to create a story of this correctional officer pretending like he is some state officer and he has control of the scene and he's making sure this person's okay and this person's okay and let's make sure everyone's good and I'm in control of the scene. And I don't think everyone else, the other witnesses didn't really testify to that. The other witnesses sort of acknowledged that he was just like another person there and, you know, they're all kind of just checking in with each other.
And so that was the tone, or how you perceived everybody's tone as this was continuing on?
For the most part, I think that me and the truck driver were kind of more calm. The officer, the way that it was kind of like he was, I don't know any other term other than kind of hyped up. Like he wanted to make sure that he was in charge in a way.
Okay. And what else did he state while you were sitting there waiting on the police to arrive?
Well, me and the truck driver were curious because we didn't know what had just happened. It seemed obvious that he ran the red light. So we were asking him if he was okay and if there was something going on. And he said he's okay, but he said he's definitely inebriated.
Are you sure that's the word he used?
I'm positive because it prompted both me and the truck driver to reply simultaneously saying, "Do you mean he's drunk?"
Okay. And did Mr. Kimball's dispatch hear or overhear that conversation or hear the conclusion?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Okay. So the state officer said that, and it kind of sparked yours and Mr. Kimball's attention. What happened next?
Afterwards, we're still standing around, probably another maybe 10 or 15 minutes now, additional from the original 10 minutes or so. And me and Mr. Kimball are continuing to speak, and the state officer had walked back over because at this time the guy in the truck had got out of his vehicle.
Okay. And when he got out of his vehicle, did the state officer address him?
He did.
And what was said?
He was just asking him what was he doing, and where are you going? You know, just come out of traffic, because his truck was still in the lane, So there were still cars that were passing, and he was just basically trying to make sure you need to just come out the way and stay out of traffic.
So from your perception, the state officer was remaining calm, trying to direct, at that time you didn't know, but now you do know, Mr. Herring, to be safe and get out of harm's way, correct?
Originally, yes.
Okay. And then what continued from there?
I couldn't hear what they were saying, but he kind of started walking around, and the officers started following him around the vehicle, and you could see him having conversations, but again, I couldn't hear what they were saying.
And when you said walking around where?
His truck.
And just in that proximity of just his truck?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, continue.
So after he was walking around for a little bit, he kind of started, he being the state officer, started to walk back over to us, and he was kind of just giving us this look like, this guy is, there's something that's up. And before anybody could ask, or either of us could ask him what he meant, he walked back over to him. I was actually on the phone with my family when I was on my way home from work, which I hung up to call the police. So during this time is when I took that opportunity, and I kind of walked back to my vehicle, and I was on the phone. I called my family back to let them know what was going on.
And it was to let them know what's going on, or let them know that you were safe, or?
Correct.
Okay. And is that when you made this second call, the 911 call?
It is. I noticed from a distance that it was getting more tension, I guess. Couldn't hear the conversations, but I could see the hand movements and the gestures between the two of them. Again, I don't know what he was saying, but it was almost like he's trying to explain to him something, which is when I told him, I'm going to call you guys back. I'm going to call the police back because something else is going on, because he started walking towards his vehicle again, like the driver's side at that time.
And when you called 911 the second time, was it kind of the same manner you did the first time?
It was. I was just basically explaining to them what it looked like was about to take place, assuming and hoping that they would say, okay, well, we actually have an officer. He's literally right there. Given the time frame, I would have assumed that someone would have been there by then.
Okay. How many accidents have you seen before this one?
I mean, passed on the road, a few. Witnessed firsthand, none.
And have you ever been in an accident yourself?
No.
Okay. So this is the first time you're encountering any kind of accident really firsthand or close by?
Yes.
Okay. And you get back on the phone with 911, and what occurs then?
I'm explaining to them what I thought that we had learned was that the driver who had caused the original accident was potentially drunk.
And that came from what the state officer said?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
And as I'm explaining.
Hey, so her believing that he's drunk, I don't think she's wrong for that, right? Like, you see someone behaving erratically, you really can't explain it. So I don't think that's wrong. And that even lends more to the point, Hannah. If you thought the man was drunk, why are you pulling out a firearm? Like, so it's going to continue on from here, but if this is your mindset, if I'm thinking this person is drunk, they got into a hit and run accident, or they got into an accident, we're going to hear in a couple minutes, spoiler alert, that he's going to drive off. She chases after him. Why do you think that you need to shoot him then? That's the part I don't get. I don't understand how we get to that part. And I understand the prosecution of trying to preface that she hasn't been around a lot of accidents. She hasn't been in an accident firsthand, and she's only like seen accidents in passing. So she's ill experienced with it. But I don't think you need much experience to know that I don't need to pull out a gun for an accident. I just don't.
To her, I noticed that's when he completely gets in his truck. He starts trying to turn it on, and you can hear him like revving it to get it to turn on, which I think that all of us were shocked that it even turned on to begin with. And that's when he started to drive away.
And you said you were shocked. Why were you shocked that it started back up?
There was fluids everywhere. It was smoking. It was damaged.
Was there a major impact?
There was, yeah. I mean, the entire tractor trailer just shifted and rocked when he hit him.
Okay. And you don't know what speed he was going through the red light?
I don't.
Okay. But you did see the effects it had on the 18-wheeler? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then you are on the phone with 911, you see him jump into his vehicle, revving it up. And what happens then?
I'm just basically just telling dispatch that that's what's happening. I am explaining to her he just got in his car, and she asked me if I was able to get the tag number as he's pulling away.
Were you able to get the...
And this is the second part that she tries to, like, she's trying to put the blame on everyone else. Like, oh, he was an officer. He made me feel like, you know, he was an officer. The 911 operator saying, oh, do you have the tag number? So she's going to act like the 911 operator, like, told her to pursue, which no 911 operator would ever do that. You actually hear the 911 operator saying, do not pursue.
At that point, I wasn't, no.
Did it appear anybody had gotten the tag number?
No.
And
They were just trying to get out of the middle of the road.
so people were trying to get out of the way. Was anybody screaming, get the tag number, or?
I mean, at the time, all I could see was the state officer and the truck driver the state officer was kind of grabbing the truck driver, kind of telling him, you know, to get out of the way.
Where was this truck driver standing?
They were, so if this was the lane where they were turning and the truck was kind of partially turned, they were standing at the, like, kind of the middle part of the intersection, which would have been middle part of the tractor trailer, which is kind of in front of Mr. Herring's vehicle.
Okay. Did it ever appear that any of them might have been in jeopardy of being hit when Mr. Herring was starting up his vehicle?
Initially, it's not the first thing that came to, I think, anybody's mind, but then once he started revving it and just kind of took off, then yeah.
Okay. And then what happened?
So I'm explaining to the dispatch what happened, and as he's pulling off, she's asking me, you know, was I able to get the tag number? Realizing I wasn't able to, I was already at my vehicle, and I completely got in my vehicle and went to go pull off.
Okay.
And at that time, the truck driver and the state officer was still standing over in the street, and he started waving me over, like calling me towards him.
Okay. And when you got close to him, what happened?
I asked him, did he go straight? And he said yes. And he's telling me, he said, go.
So at that time, you were under the impression that he's a state officer sending you to get the tag, and 911 knows that you're on the way to get the tag.
In what world would that happen? Please let me know. When is a state officer telling you to go chase down a suspect or a perpetrator or whatever? Like, when? Wouldn't they go do it? And furthermore, even if an officer did tell me to, I was like, no, you do it. You're the one with the gun, and you're the one qualified to do this. I'm a civilian. I have no qualifications to chase down anyone. But this is the story she's telling.
Correct. And when I was in my vehicle, when he was waving me over, his motions it was almost like he was waving me on. So when he brought me up, when I got up to him is when he told me to go.
Okay. And he said go, or did he say something else, or?
No, he just said, good, go.
Okay. All right, so then now you're going in the direction they pointed you, and you're on the phone with 911. Was 911 saying anything?
No, she was not.
All right.
There was kind of silence from the time that she had initially asked me if I had got the tag. I was still kind of getting my bearings, and I just started repeating to her, telling her, okay, you know, he's going down Clark Howell, or Forest Parkway.
So you never heard them give a warning of not to chase, or?
No.
And having heard the
I'm sorry, I haven't heard the 911 footage or call in a while. I believe, I'm going to listen to it again, but I believe the 911 operator was explicitly telling her not to pursue. So the fact that she's saying she didn't hear the 911 officer telling her not to pursue, it's like, she just kept saying, don't pursue, stop, do not do this. And then she was the one saying, I'm going to get him, I'm going to, like, what? That's my memory of the call. I could be wrong, but that's my memory. That's my vivid memory of it.
Did you feel that you were talking over it, or you just didn't hear it, or?
No. I was explaining to her as we were as we were going down the road, I'm explaining to her what's happening. And from how I remembered it, she asked me again, so were you able to get it? And I explained to her, not yet, but I am about to. And that's when she told me that she just wanted me to be safe. I told her that I understood, and that I wasn't chasing. I was just going to follow, to stay behind him, to stay with him until the police officer could get to us. So I was able to kind of accurately, basically just keep them in the loop since they obviously weren't there yet.
Girl, there's other people on the road. I mean, I hate to say it like that, but it's not your responsibility to keep eyes on this man. You can call it in, say they were heading this way, and they may be a danger to themselves or someone else, but trust me, other drivers, other people will call. Hopefully he doesn't injure someone. I hope so, but you did all you could do. That's when people say, I did all I can do. That's all you can do. You hit that threshold. So when the 911 operator, she's leaving out the part when the 911 operator told her not to pursue. She's just saying she just wanted me to be safe. Yeah. And she didn't want you to pursue this person because it is unsafe. You did all you could do.
Okay. So your impression at that point is that you're just going to get the tag and then hopefully that'll be it. You just report the tag?
Correct.
Okay. And did 911 ever come on and say, hey, we've already got the tag from somebody else?
No, she never did.
Okay. So as you're getting up close to get the tag, what happens then?
As I'm getting closer, I explained to her that I had the tag, and she basically tells me that this is the way that I interpreted it, was that she wanted both of us to go back to the original accident site because police should be there by now.
All right. Did she say something before that about you just returning, or the only thing you heard was that both of y'all needed to be?
Correct. She just told me she wanted me to be safe. I told her I felt like I was safe. And that's when I told her that I was going to stay with them until an officer could get to us.
That line of I was safe, like the 911 operator saying, I want you to be safe, and she's saying, I am safe, or I feel safe. That's a huge indicator, right? Because why are you pulling your firearm if you felt safe? You're pursuing this man. He's not pursuing you. You could turn around, go back home. So you chasing danger and then saying you felt unsafe, that part doesn't add up to me, girl. Like you can't have it both ways. Either you feel unsafe and you avoid safety, right? You fight or flight, which if he's not pursuing you, why are you fighting? Flight. Why are you chasing him down?
And she said that that's what she wanted me to do.
At any time, did you identify you had a gun or was carrying a gun?
I didn't.
Okay. So you're following the individual to get his tag, and you get it, and then your interpretation of what was said is that they wanted both of y'all to come back to the scene.
Correct.
So what did you do at that point?
At that point is when we had both come up to the intersection, and I saw him stopped in the turning lane. So I turned as well, and when I stopped, I was under the impression, with me having 911 on the phone, that I could just be kind of like a messenger. So I took my phone on speaker and I took it to him to show him that I had the police on the phone, and I'm telling him they want us to go back to the original accident site.
All right, at this point,
Girl, you have no authority over this man. What are you talking about? Your phone being you showing your caller ID of being on the phone with 911, that's not a badge. That's not any sign of authority. Why am I listening to you? Okay, I don't care if you're on the phone with 911. Okay, who are you? Literally, who are you?
y'all have not made contact, correct?
No, we have not.
So how far do you think you pulled over the distance between you and his truck?
Well, he was in the turning lane, and I was in what would be considered like the right straight lane. And the distance between the vehicles were probably, maybe the width of this table.
But there was no contact, correct?
No, there was not.
Okay. And did you have any fear that something was going to happen by walking up to him with the phone?
I didn't think I had anything to fear. I assumed that having authorities on the phone, explaining that to him, that would just mean, okay, we'll go back.
Because you had...
Why? Why would that mean that? Why? Why? I don't know you.
heard what the interchange between him and the state officer, correct?
I had not, no.
Okay. And as you approached him with the phone, how did you have it in your hand?
I had it on speaker, and I was kind of holding it like in my palm, with it kind of resting in my hand, just like facing him, so that he could see it says 911.
Now, you mentioned that he was internally and was stopped, correct?
I'm sorry. But if you said he was intoxicated, if you believe in your mind he's intoxicated, if anyone's been around an intoxicated person, if that's what you think you think he is, which in reality that's not what it was. He was having like a diabetic episode or a medical episode. But in reality, if that's what you think it is, there's no reasoning with someone that's heavily intoxicated. There's no reasoning or rationalizing or convincing. No, you need to just let law enforcement deal with it. You're not the person to deal with this matter.
Right.
Did you cause him to stop?
I did not.
And why would he be stopped in that lane?
The only thing that I could think of was either he was merging and his vehicle finally gave up, or that okay, so the way that the lanes merged, I was assuming that he was either waiting for traffic, but then getting up closer, you can see all of the liquid, like underneath the vehicle, you can see the truck is smoking.
Okay, and you said earlier that it might have just finally exhausted.
Correct.
Okay.
I mean, and even when we were back at the original accident site, the state officer and even the truck driver, but they were adamant that they don't understand how this truck has it just kind of blown, was how they were describing it.
Okay, so your intent to walk up with the phone, tell them, hey, the police are on the phone. What happened then?
I was walking up to him, and I am explaining that I'm on the phone with the police and that they wanted us to go back to the original accident site. It's loud. We're near an interstate. It's a busy road, and I can't hear what he's saying to me. But as I got closer, I heard him asking me, "Who the F are you?" And I told him that I was nobody, but that I had the police on the phone.
Exactly. Who are you? And if you're nobody, what do the police have to, what difference does it make? Who are you?
And that they wanted us to go back to the original accident site.
Okay, so you'd explain that to him. Did you have the phone close to you? Did you have it away from you? Where was the phone?
It was kind of not extended, but partially of the way.
Okay, and what happened then?
Apparently I was close enough for him to reach out the car, and he knocked my phone out of my hand, and he grabbed me by my wrist, and he pulled me into the vehicle.
This is when I believe she starts lying. Like, I think she's already lying, but I think this is when she starts really lying. Because, ma'am, I think there's actually video of it as well. I think someone else took a video of what occurred. Thank goodness they did. I'll see if we can get it. Oh my God.
Okay, now, you said apparently you got too close to the vehicle. Did it appear to you you were too close to the vehicle, or?
I wasn't thinking that I needed adequate space to stay away from him or anybody or anything.
Why not? It's a strange man who you believe is intoxicated, driving erratically. And minutes ago, you just told 911 that you felt comfortable and safe. I'm sorry. I'm not approaching a stranger that I feel afraid of approaching. Fine, she's saying she didn't feel afraid, but what you should have. You should have. It just doesn't make any sense.
Okay. And then you said he knocked the phone out of your hand.
Yes.
And then he grabbed you. You said one was on your wrist, and where's the other hand?
And originally he had just grabbed my wrist, and he had pulled me in the car, and at some point my shirt had gotten grabbed.
Okay.
And he
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
He was pulling my wrist, and he pulled me in the vehicle, and he kept yelling at me, telling me, "I have something for you," and he used, "I have something for you, bitch." And he's leaning, and he's reaching, and he's pulling, and at this point, I remember that. I'm sorry.
Take your time.
I remember that he had let go of my wrist, and he grabbed me by the back of my neck, and it was as if he was trying to kind of keep a hold of me. The entire time I'm telling him, I'm thinking I still have to be on the phone with the police. They have to know. I'm telling him to let me go, and that's when he hits the gas, and we go forward. I'm still in the car at this point, and while it only may have been a few steps or a few feet, when you are being held against your will and you have no idea what's ahead of you and you're looking down, it felt like it lasted forever.
Oh my gosh. I cannot believe that she's lying like this. This is shocking, actually. This isn't what happened at all. Right? Like, parts of it, fine. Like, the car being moved, but he was trying to get away from her because she already had her gun drawn. She's leaving that out of the story. Oh my goodness. See, now, I know I started off this video by saying, like, I don't think, she really meant it. I think my opinion's changing in the moment. I'm remembering what I remember versus what I'm hearing right now is like, it's shocking me. And it's making me feel like, was it intentional? Like, what? I don't know.
And I just remember it was like I saw my life flash before my eyes, and I thought I was going to go down Riverdale Road, out hanging out the side of this car.
And the whole time, are you trying to get away from this situation?
I'm trying to pull away from him, yes.
And how did you do that?
My entire body was up against the vehicle, and I'm just trying my hardest to push away with any part of me that I can, whether it was my arms or my knees, trying to just put distance in between me and the vehicle, thinking I could get away from it, and was unsuccessful.
And at one part, you hear yourself screaming, "Get the F out of the car." What was going on then?
I'm thinking that I have a better chance of not being drugged if he's not in the vehicle.
Wait. Oh, I think he's trying to pull up the call. Let me see. Oh. State's evidence.
What I hold here is a bag that's been labeled evidence that we're going to call it defense exhibit number 39, 38, 39. Okay, and as you can see, the conceal is not open. At this time, Your Honor, I'm going to approach the witness, although I'm not sure it's allowed open. She can identify. Do you see the writing on this right here?
Yes,
Okay, does that identify a article of clothing?
it does.
Okay, and at this time, I'm going to open the evidence. Does this appear to be?
Oh, I think there's an
Okay.
objection. Is there an objection to the statement? Yeah, I mean, he is not tendered.
I'm going to tell you what she
Okay, this way. Yeah.
Okay, I'll show it to her to see.
They're like discussing procedure with him.
You may approach.
Do you see this shirt?
Yes,
Does that shirt look familiar to you?
yes,
Is it an accurate representation of the shirt you were wearing that day of the
yes, yes.
At this time, Your Honor, I would like to tender what is exhibit defense 39.
Any objection from the state? No objection. Admitted without objection.
And I'd like to present it to or show to the jury the shirt she was wearing the day of the incident. Was it torn when you were wearing it that day?
No,
When Mr. Herring grabbed you, did he tear it?
yes,
And is this a fair representation of the rips and what it ended up being at the end?
yes.
Along
Hey, I don't deny that her shirt got ripped. That could have well happened. But we also have to remember it was due to her pursuing him and approaching him. I don't know who you are. And you're in my car. Your body is in my car. Why?
with the rips in that shirt, was there any other part of your body that had any kind of marks from where he grabbed you?
Yes.
Okay, where were those?
I had marks on the back of my neck and kind of scratches along my arms, bruisings on my wrists, and scratches along my chest.
Okay. Anything in the facial area?
Yes. I had a kind of a black eye, but a bruised eye and a busted upper lip. And other, I guess, like sore spots, like or bruising and redness around the edges of my face.
And all of this occurred while he was dragging you forward towards your vehicle?
Correct.
Okay. And you said he was making a statement to you of, I've got something for you, bitch. Was there any other statements made that you can remember this time?
He just kept telling me that kind of over and over again, and that I was nobody.
Again, because you are, Hannah. Okay? It seems like that being told that she was nobody really kind of got to her. And she had to prove to him that she was somebody. Okay? So, with that being said, I'm going to pause it here and pick up the next one. Pick up the rest of it in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching and joining. And see you again soon. Bye.